Hello, Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown on the MHRT Network. This is a show that is everything Broncos and brought to you with emotion, passion, honesty, and of course, my comments. I am your host, Bronco Bill. All right, speaking of comments, let's go right straight to Avatar. Avatar says, "What's up, Broncos country and 2023 NBA champs Nuggets Nation?" Absolutely. Avatar, we should make you an ambassador for the MHRT network because you are a mainstay in this show as well as all the other shows. And so MHRT network greatly appreciates it. Thank you so much for always chiming in and your comments. Really appreciate it. Okay, guys, a lot of different topics, a lot of different directions. This one, I'm over this one, guys. I'm really over the media when they're harping on Russell Wilson. Okay, I'm done with it. I'm done. And here's the reason why I'm done. Okay, he had a bad year. Let it freaking go. Okay, let it go. Because what's happening is it's constant picking on what happened in the past. What happened in the past, he can't change that. That was a horrible coaching staff. Horrible coaching staff. Russell Wilson was put in a no-win situation. Period. Plain and simple. And they're harping on him. And I'm going to get in that topic really quick. But I'm going to go to Allison Sesson says, Denver Broncos for life. Absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt about it. So here we go. This is what upsets me. Pro Football Network. Come on, Pro Football Network, okay, has ranked the top quarterback power rankings in the NFL. Russell Wilson is ranked number 10, maybe 15. We're going down to 20? Nope. Number 28. Number 28. Just above Baker Mayfield, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, and C.J. Stroud. Hey, if any of you out there say who's Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson, I have no clue. Because Russell Wilson shouldn't be that low. And if we don't know the names of those guys as household names, that means they haven't been on the team very long or in the NFL that very long. What bothers me about this ranking is they're basing it on last year. Okay? I understand he had a bad season. Okay? Let's get past it. Let's look at the reasons why he had a bad season. Play calling was horrific. Situations that Hackett put Russell Wilson in were pathetic. We didn't have an offensive line that could stop, could hold out any pass rushers. It was, and we had injury after injury. Yes, injuries happen. Things do happen. But holy smokes, you can't put all the blame on Russell Wilson. You can't. In my opinion, Russell Wilson should be ranked higher than these three I'm going to mention. Listen to this. Tua, Garoppolo, and Jacoby Brissett are ranked in order. Tua, 9. Come on. Are you freaking kidding me? Tua, 9? Okay. Oh, he had a good year last year. So freaking what? My whole thing is go by the career. And I know that like any given sports, no matter what sport it is, you're just as good as your last game, or you're just as good as your last year. I get that. But holy cow, you got to look at the bigger picture, guys. You got to look at the bigger picture. Yes, Tua was in a better offensive system than Wilson was. Garoppolo, well, I mean, he got hurt in San Francisco, but then you have a great head coach in Clint Kubiak. So, of course, he's going to be in a better situation than Wilson because Wilson had Hackett. And Jacoby Brissett, really? Jacoby Brissett ranked 20th, 8 slots above Russell Wilson. You know, I'll tell you what, guys. Things like that just get under my skin big time. They get under my skin because it's a simple fact that they're putting all the eggs in one basket. Why? Because Russell Wilson was supposed to come in last year and be the Denver Broncos savior to take them back to the promised land. Well, that's not going to happen under a head coach that has no idea what he's doing. Plain and simple. It's not going to happen. You watch, guys. Things will be much better this season under Sean Payton. And I'll get into that in a little bit later. Listen to this. Capacity limit. The Denver Broncos, no, not the stadium, not the stadium. The Denver Broncos have not had capacity limits at training camp in their past. That is going to change this year after the Broncos announced a limit of 3,000 fans. Why? This is all started with a tweet photo showing about 7,121 fans in attendance last year. Oh, why can't they have 71,021? Why can't they have that? Well, the problem is the permit was issued by the Arapahoe County and was set at a permit limiting fans to just 3,200 people. This has been going on, guys, since the Pat Bowlen days. When Pat Bowlen signed that agreement, oh, we're not going to have any more than 3,200. Now, am I saying that Pat Bowlen, knew for sure that that he was going over the limit? I don't know. I don't think so. But then again, I think that happened back in 20. I think that photo was taken. Well, it was taken last year. But I think that agreement or that permit was issued in 2015. Pat Bowlen, he wasn't really doing too well in 2015, so maybe he didn't really mentally know what was going on or that kind of thing. So I guess it's a fire hazard or some type of evacuation situation if necessary. That's probably what it's referring to. But man, that's cutting it way more than half. 71-21 down to 3,000. Yeah, that's a lot more than half. And it's unfortunate for those fans who want to be there. Very, very unfortunate. Avatar, you're right. I'm sorry, man. I misspoke. Hey, I misspoke every week, don't I? I think some of you guys are here to just think to yourself, okay, when is Bronco Bill going to screw up? Because I know he's going to mess up something. So you're right, Avatar. You meant, I should say, I meant to say Kyle Shanahan, not Kubiak. That's what I meant to say. Okay. I move on. Yeah, that was a good point. And thanks for correcting me because, hey, you know what? I don't mind saying things that are not misconstrued, but mispronounced or the wrong person or whatever. I appreciate when people do correct me. So that's really cool. I appreciate it. Okay. One main reason Russell Wilson will thrive in 2023. Okay. We just mentioned earlier that Russell Wilson's getting slammed, and that was because of his play last year, and he was under Nathaniel Hackett. Okay. Sean Payton has a coaching history of taking an average quarterback and making them better. Payton put Drew Brees on the Hall of Fame path, turned journeyman quarterbacks like Trevor Siemian and Teddy Bridgewater into efficient quarterbacks. Very, very true. He did. Payton knows all too well that in order for Russell Wilson to thrive, Russell Wilson, can't be placed in a let Russ cook. That was horrible last year. Put too much pressure on him. A brand new coaching staff, a brand new city, a brand new organization, a brand new offense, a brand new offensive game plan. Come on, man. And then you put him in ridiculous situations and expect him to perform? I mean, it's not rocket science to figure that out, that was a stupid, stupid idea. Stupid idea. And the result was 5-12. And two of those wins didn't come by way of Russell Wilson, or at least one of them didn't. One of them was with the backup, at least the backup. And then the win at the end against the Raiders, or was it the Chargers? Chargers, I think. Yeah, against the Chargers in the end, that was with the interim head coach. So you see, when you get rid of Hackett, you get rid of the problem. Anyways, I know I've picked on Hackett for numerous reasons, but there's obvious cause for it. Okay. Things will be much different, and so will Russell Wilson under Sean Payton. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, do I think and feel that Russell Wilson is going to be MVP? Some people think that Russell Wilson can be MVP. Maybe he can. Maybe Russell Wilson can be MVP, but it's going to have to take an absolute phenomenal season for that to happen. I don't want that to happen. Not because I don't want Russell Wilson to win MVP. That's not what I'm saying. But if Russell Wilson wins MVP, that means he's got to put up MVP numbers like touchdowns and low interceptions and passing for like 4,500 yards or whatever. But in the Sean Payton offense, that's going to be run heavy. It's going to be run heavy. And the reason why is I just mentioned, you cannot allow Russell Wilson to sit back there and say, let Russ cook. It's not going to work because he's older. I think he's 35 this year or 38, somewhere in that bracket. And, that's not old by any stretch of imagination. I mean, I would love to be 38 again. But the bottom line is in sports, especially in football, when you're getting hit every doggone play, 38 or 35 is considered old. So Russell Wilson can't do what he used to do when he was younger. You got to have a run game. You got to have a balance. You have to have a scheme. You have to have different types of playmakers outside of Russell Wilson. Is a quarterback the best position in any team? Absolutely. On the offense, well, I would have to say the offensive line, in my opinion, is one of the most important people because they're the ones that got to block for the running game. They got to block for the passing game. So you can't put all the weight on Russell Wilson. And that's what happened last year. It's not going to happen this year under Sean Payton. So for me to say that Russell Wilson or anybody else, not me, I haven't said it, but other people that I've read have said that they feel that Russell Wilson could be MVP. I don't think so. I don't think so. Not with the Sean Payton run offense. That's not going to happen. It's going to be a balanced offense. If it does happen and the Broncos end up scoring an average of 30, 35 points a game, great. I would love that. I don't see it. I see it being very methodical, very thought out by Sean Payton, and he's not going to put Russell Wilson in a situation where Russell Wilson is going to look like he did last year. I don't think that's going to happen. Absolutely not going to happen. That's why I think Russell Wilson will have a breakout year. And I mean by breakout, it's not breakout in the standpoint of what he was when he was younger, but standout, or I should say breakout, from the standpoint of bouncing back from last year, because that's not going to happen. Sean Payton is not going to allow Russell Wilson to go through another year like last year. And should Russell Wilson, in my opinion, start to falter, there's no doubt in my mind that Sean Payton would bench him and place Stidham in his place, because Sean Payton wants to win. He has no alliance or allegiance to Russell Wilson. He wants the best from Russell Wilson, absolutely, because Russell Wilson is a seasoned veteran. He's got a history of wins more than losses, and he's won a Super Bowl. So he wants the best for Russell Wilson, and he wants the best for the Broncos, and he wants the best for the organization. The bottom line is, if Russell Wilson isn't in the position to be that because of whatever reason, then Sean Payton will not hesitate to put Stidham in, because that's just the way it is. You got to win with the players that you have and the best players that you have. But I do think that Russell Wilson will have a breakout year. And I haven't said for a long time that, I've said that I haven't picked how many wins the Broncos are going to have officially. I haven't given my official thought on that. I'll do that as we get closer to preseason and even maybe closer to the regular season. But I do think Russell Wilson will at least win 8 or 9 games. I'm just saying that right now because I'm not gonna throw out what I really think. So that's just what I think. There's no way that the Broncos just win 5. Absolutely no way. Okay, before I continue, D-Rock, what's happening, my friend? Nice to have you in the house, man. Big shout out, says Bill. Hey, I say, what's up, D-Rock? Let's see, playoff Lenny in Denver. Yes, please. Oh, yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good to have. No doubt about it. Avatar says Russell be 35 this year. Okay, I knew it was either 35 or 38, but it's still considered old by football. Well, unless you're Tom Brady, and then you play until you're like, what, 40 something. It's like 41 or something. That's crazy. All right, so totally good, guys. Thanks so much for chiming in the chat. Really do appreciate it, as always. Okay, speaking of Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos and what Sean Payton brings to the Broncos, the Denver Broncos may never rebuild, and I use that in quotes because a lot of people say rebuilding is when you get a new quarterback, or you go for new running backs, or whatever the rebuild means. Anyways, the Denver Broncos may never rebuild as long as Sean Payton is their head coach. That's because Sean Payton and the Broncos are in it full steam ahead for now and the future. Reason being, because they want to win it now. They don't. Sean Payton is, I think he's in his 60s, late 50s, early 60s, maybe 60. And, the Broncos signed him for 5 years. That means if he wants to coach all 5 years, that'll be until 65. So does he really want to go that route? Maybe. But I know that he does not want to have a team under his leadership that wants to rebuild. Because if that's the case, you're throwing away 1 or 2 years right off the bat. Right off the bat. I mean, look at when the Kansas City Chiefs drafted Patrick Mahomes, and he was a phenom coming out of college and just lit up the NFL like nobody's business, and still does it. They didn't win a championship right away. It took them several years. It took them years to get there. Sure, they were good. They're in the playoffs, but they didn't win the Super Bowl. Sean Payton wants to win the Super Bowl. And I'm not saying it's going to happen this year, because if it does, oh my gosh, that'd be a shock and a half to me. No doubt about it. But if the Broncos are not in a rebuild, that means they're focusing on now. They're focusing on the playoffs, and they're focusing on Super Bowls. I said Super Bowls with an S, not just one. Sean Payton wants to win, and he wants to win now. And that's why he's building the team the way he built it with his coaching staff and the draft picks and the players they've kept. All right, I continue. All of Payton's years in New Orleans, they were competitive year after year. Payton's winning percentage was 60%, unless things truly turn sour. As long as Payton is a Broncos coach, rebuilding is very, very unlikely. Absolutely. And the only reason why Sean Payton would ever crash and burn, in my opinion, is if he forgot how to coach. And that ain't going to happen. That is not going to happen. Sean Payton is coached, 15, 16 years in the league, and he hasn't forgotten how to coach yet. And he's not going to. He's absolutely not going to. And one of the benefits, and I haven't heard too many people talk about this, but I was thinking about this the other day. With Sean Payton removed from head coaching, he literally could step back outside the realm of the coaching bubble and see it from the outside looking in, being an analyst, seeing all of these teams, seeing all of these coaching staff, seeing all of these plays and things. You don't think that he stored some of that up here, written it down, documented, whatever? You don't think the Denver Broncos played some of those teams that he was analyzing as an analyst? You don't think for one moment that wait a minute, I saw that by that team, and I saw this from the other team. Yeah, absolutely. You don't think, come on, Sean Payton wasn't born yesterday, guys. The guy is a genius. He knows how to win. He knows how to get the best out of players. And in my opinion, like I said, I happened to just think of this the other day. In my opinion, he stored all that upstairs. And he also probably stored it, writing it down or whatever. That would be brilliant, because he could see it from the outside looking in, seeing with their different things, as opposed to just being a coach and coaching against one team. He got to see all 32 teams, all 32 teams, no doubt. Wow. I hope that really plays a big part in this season. I really do, because I got a feeling, man. I'm telling you guys, I got a great feeling about this team. And I don't want to drink that proverbial orange and blue Kool-Aid right now. I'm trying to stay calm, but at the same point, I'm excited. I'm excited, but I'm cautiously optimistic because I was way over the top last year with Hackett, and I don't want to get that way again. But Sean Payton is totally different than Hackett. I mean, Hackett has no business even carrying, Sean Payton's what. So I'm not going to go there. But yeah, I'm totally excited about this year. Totally can't wait for preseason because I get to see real, not real because I mean the backups are real, but I get to see the starters. We didn't see that last year. And it was a train wreck in Seattle. Anyways, all right. The topic of the show is Denver in play for a new running back. Here it is. Denver intends to bring Javonte Williams along slowly, and if Williams, isn't ready for the start of the season, Denver's front office could be looking for another running back, per Mike Kliss of 9 News Denver. Okay. Who would that running back be? Dalvin Cook? I think Dalvin Cook would be a good fit. I just don't think that the Broncos want to pony up that much money. Dalvin Cook is not going to come cheap, guys. He's not going to come cheap. He's a 5-time Pro Bowler. He still has, a lot of fuel in the tank, so to speak. Still has a lot to give. I just don't think the Denver Broncos want to put up that kind of money because here's the deal: the Broncos running backs that running back room is stacked. I mean, we've got Javonte Williams. We've got the guy that we got from Kansas City. I never can remember that guy's name. But anyways, you know what I'm talking about. You got him from Kansas City. We have a couple of other running backs as well. And you want to bring in a Dalvin Cook? I don't think Dalvin Cook is going to take a back seat to Javonte Williams once Williams comes back 100%. I don't see that. I see Dalvin Cook as wanting to be a feature runner or at least carry the ball, 50% of the time. Kind of like what Denver was doing last year with Javonte Williams. But the other running back, I forgot, man. You guys got to help me, man. I don't know why I'm messing up on these guys. Probably because football hasn't been around for a while and I haven't really, brushed up on on the players that the Broncos used to have. But anyways, and then we had Melvin Gordon. He didn't want to split time. He wanted to be in there, but the doggone guy couldn't hang on to the football. But that's not a Dalvin Cook problem, hanging on to football. The problem with Dalvin Cook, in my opinion, is twofold. One, he wants a lot of money and well-deserved for the career he's put up. And two, I don't think he wants to split time with Javonte Williams. So if you bring him in, what are you going to do? You're going to sit him on the bench for, I don't know, quite a bit time? I just don't see that. I would love to have a Dalvin Cook. I think the guy's a great runner. Think he would be a great 1-2 punch with Javonte Williams. I just don't see that happening. And I will get into a little Dalvin Cook later on in the show. All right. It's possible, Mike Kliss goes on and says, it's possible to bring in a veteran running back, but the move wouldn't happen until Sean Payton and George Payton get an extended look at Williams during training camp. Okay. But could that be too late? The picture on the front of the show for tonight on YouTube and YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, I believe. It showed Leonard Fournette of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I don't think he's a free agent, and I'm not sure the Broncos would want to trade because I don't know what Tampa Bay would want. They probably want very high compensation. I don't even know if he's trade bait. I don't even know if he's available to be traded. I guess anybody at any given time available, but what would you have to give up and what would you have to eat in salary cap? So, I don't think Leonard Fournette is going to be the person, but I could be totally wrong. I could be totally out in left field and have no clue because everything is so tight-lipped at Dove Valley. Why? Because Sean Payton wants it that. He wants it quiet. He doesn't want people out there to know what he's doing. kind of like George Payton. You remember when George Payton went out and got Russell Wilson? Everybody was talking about, oh, we're going to get Aaron Rodgers. We're getting Aaron Rodgers. Oh, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is coming because we got Hackett here. Didn't happen. Why didn't it happen? Various reasons. But but George Payton never let on that he was going after Hackett. He never let on that he was even going after Rodgers. It was Russell Wilson the entire time, as it turned out to be. Now, was that a second choice? I don't know. Possibly because we had Hackett at the time. I don't know. Would things have been different in Denver? Would we have won more games with Hackett and Rodgers? I don't know. We'll never know. We'll never know because Rodgers now in New York and Hackett's in New York. Now, that's something to watch. Had Hackett been in Denver, Hackett wasn't Denver. I should say, had Rodgers been in Denver under Hackett with the team that we had, would we have won more than 5 games? Now, Hackett is the offensive coordinator, not the head coach, but the offensive coordinator on the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers is now on the Jets. Is Aaron Rodgers and Nathaniel Hackett going to win more games than the Jets won last year or equal to it? That'll be interesting. That'll be extremely interesting because I'm thinking about the what if. The what if Denver could have had last year. Not that I wanted Rodgers. I don't like his attitude. I've said that many, many times on my shows. I don't like his attitude. I don't like his arrogance. I don't like his prima donna attitude or it's me or the highway. I don't like that. You're not the head coach. You're not the owner. Just shut up. Go out there and do your job and quit mouthing off and acting like you're somebody. Yes, you're a good quarterback. Everybody in the NFL is a good quarterback. Some are better. Some are elite. Some are Hall of Famers. Some are Super Bowl champions. But you're not going to be in the NFL if you're not good. So, okay, good quarterback. Great quarterback. Super Bowl champion, whatever. Okay, bottom line is keep your mouth shut. Act like you've been there before. Act like you should act. And that is respectful of the game and quit trying to be somebody bigger than you are. All right, let me get back to the chat. A lot of guys have been chiming in. Let's see. Avatar says Sean Payton's going to be 60 this year. I knew he's either right around my age. Actually, he's younger than me. But yeah, I knew it was somewhere around there, close to it. Hey, Bubba, what's happening, Bubba? Hey, Bubba, have you gotten married yet? Is that you? I think that was you getting married, wasn't it? God, it's been a long time, man. So, yeah, let me know, man. Let me know how things are going. Hey, David Burns, nice to have you in the house. Thanks for chiming in, bro. I appreciate it. David Burns says, I say Delvin Cook will be a good running back for the different Broncos or Zeke Elliott from the Cowboys. Zeke Elliott, that's a good one. I brought that up a couple of shows ago about Zeke Elliott. I don't know. I mean, I know he'd be a good fit. Obviously, Sean Payton's seen a lot of him, being in the NFC. But I just don't know or what he's asking. He's a free agent, I'm assuming. Yeah, because they let him go. So I don't know. I don't know what asking price he wants. And again, you got the whole Javonte Williams issue. Would Zeke Elliott come in, like I say, on third down, short yardage? But then if that's the case, do you put a negative comment or a negative thought in Javonte Williams' head saying, well, I'm not good enough to be on those downs, or I'm not good enough to be in this particular package? You don't want to do that to a young player, young running back who has tremendous potential. Sure, he's coming off massive injury to his knee. We don't know how he's going to be and how he's going to perform when he's in full stride and in an actual game. We don't know that. So yes, having a Delvin Cook or Ezekiel Elliott or a Leonard Fournette would be phenomenal on Denver. I just don't know what the asking price is, and would the Broncos be willing to pay that? That's my concern. I don't know what direction they're going to go. I do know that according to Mike Kliss, it's pretty sure that they're going to see how Javonte Williams performs in practices. The problem I have, again, and I mentioned it many, many times, is in practice you don't facilitate the exact same type of stress on your legs or running, because your own teammates are not going to knock you flat on the back. The Oakland Raiders, the Vegas Raiders, the Kansas City Chiefs, the LA Chargers, they want to knock your block off. They want to knock you down because you're in their division. Every team wants to go out and win, especially in their division. You think they're going to take it easy on Javonte Williams? Are you kidding me? They're not going to take it easy. Not one bit. They're going to come after him like nobody's business. Why? Because they know he's coming off an injury. And if Javonte Williams has any inclination to, I better go down. I don't want to take this hit. I know what it felt like last time. Same type of situation. He may just drop. He may just go down and give himself up. So then what? So you have to have a running back that's not scared. Now, I'm not saying Javonte Williams is going to play scared, but you got to understand it's in the back of your mind. If anybody's ever had an injury, I had one that forced me to retire 2 years earlier than I wanted to. A torn tendon and nerve damage in my right elbow. Yeah, when I pick something up that's heavy, and every now and then I'll get this twinge, and I'm like, wow, shoot, man, maybe I don't want to pick that up again, or use my left arm or something to compensate for it. Yeah, you think of it subconsciously because you don't want to go through that pain again. You don't want to go through that feeling again. Javonte Williams hasn't really put that much stress and cutting and turning like he will in a real live game. That's why the Denver Broncos, according to Mike Klis, are seriously looking at Javonte Williams in practice so that they will get a feel of bringing in a running back. Who's that running back? I don't know. I know there's several out there. I just don't know which running back or who will be the person. Okay. Avatar says Frank Clark. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. Whoa. Okay. That's what I thought. Avatar says Fournette is a free agent. Okay. If Leonard Fournette's a free agent, then I say good. Go for it. Bring him in. What's the harm? What's the problem? No problem whatsoever. Bring him in. See how he performs. Let him go through, all your, testing to whatever, pass the physical, the whole bit. Why not bring him in? I don't think Leonard Fournette would, get his feathers ruffled. If Javonte Williams was a featured back, I don't think he would. Leonard Fournette he wants to win. He wants to play. Yeah, good idea. Good idea. Yeah, see, that's one thing I didn't know, Avatar, is if he was a free agent. I tried to look it up right before the show, and I didn't come across. I was doing some other things as far as my notes and things, but thanks for pointing out. I really appreciate it. See, David Burns says Vikings making a huge mistake here. Personally, I don't think Madison is a clear number one back. Watch, he won't amount to anything once Cook is gone. That's a good point. That is a good point. But you never know. Some of these guys, maybe they think, okay, hey, my competition, so to speak, is out of the way. And, I can just go out there and make something happen on my own and make a name for myself. So it could go either way. It could go where Delvin Cook pushed him because Delvin Cook was there and pushed him, so to speak, because, Madison knew that Cook was on the bench and right there ready to take over. Or with Cook out of the picture, he could say, hey, now it's mine, and I'm going to show everybody why I'm number one. Good point. Very, very good point, David. I really appreciate it. Bubba said not yet. All right. I forgot when it was, Bubba. I think you said it was so we're in July. So I think it was, towards the end of summer or first part of spring. Not too sure. But anyways, congratulations, Bubba, again on your impending marriage. Really appreciate it. Glad to know that. Okay, Bubba, go shoot. Bubba says, I got a question for me. Okay, go ahead, Bubba. Let me know what your question is, and I'll get to it. So go ahead and fire away. In the meantime, I'm going to switch over to David Burns, who says Javonte was trucking everyone in the league. Broncos didn't know how to use him. That's true. That is true. Coaching staff didn't know how to use him. That's for doggone sure. And And I don't know, maybe that contributed to his injury. But injuries can happen at freak moments. I mean, look at Terrell Davis. He tore his ACL after an interception. He's going down to make the tackle. He just ended up, landing wrong, twisting his knee, and tore his ACL. It can happen. It can happen to anyone on any play at any given time. That's the bad part. Okay, speaking of running backs, speaking of Dalvin Cook, is Dalvin Cook going to the New York Jets? The New York Jets have shown legitimate interest in bringing in 4-time Pro Bowl running back Dalvin Cook to pair with Breece Hall and company, per league sources. Now, league sources have knowledge of the situation, inside information. Wow. If that's the case, Dalvin Cook will be playing for the enemy. And I don't mean the enemy of the Jets, because the Vikings are in the NFC and the Jets are in the AFC. No. I'm not talking about conferences. I'm talking about quarterback. Dalvin Cook played for the Minnesota Vikings in a division where the Vikings cannot stand the Packers. And now Packers don't have Aaron Rodgers. The New York Jets do. Would Dalvin Cook go to the Jets and play for an Aaron Rodgers? I'm trying not to put words in his mouth, but I would assume he didn't like him. I'm assuming he didn't appreciate him. That would be completely obvious if you're a Viking fan or a Vikings player, and you're a Green Bay fan and Green Bay player, you're not going to like the Vikings, and the Vikings aren't going to like you. Period. Division rivals, hated rivals. And Dalvin Cook could possibly be merging with the enemy. But then again, Dalvin Cook probably would say, hey, you know what? I'm not really worried about him. I want to win a Super Bowl. I want to be on a team that has a chance to go to the playoffs and win the Super Bowl. Okay, that's well and good. And sometimes you just got to put bygones be bygones, or sometimes you just got to bury the hatchet, so to speak. Wow, it just seems strange to see if Dalvin Cook dons the New York Jets green uniform. That is so close to Green Bay. And I know Green Bay's colors are kind of a yellowish color, but they also have green in it. So do the Jets. I don't know, man. I don't like seeing this. I don't, because I like Dalvin Cook. I don't want him to go to the Jets. We got to play the Jets this year with Aaron Rodgers and a possible Dalvin Cook. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see other teams that we play get better. And I dang sure don't like to see it when they cross over that proverbial line in the sand to go play with the enemy. I don't like it. Absolutely don't like it. I understand they do it because it's their career and they want to play on a winning team. And maybe it's the almighty dollar. Of course it is. And if the Jets are going to pony up whatever money Dalvin Cook wants, he'll go there. And he'll just look a blind eye to Aaron Rodgers if he has to. He doesn't have to be buddy-buddy to him. He just has to play an offense that has him as a quarterback, if that's where he chooses to go. But man, I'm just saying, guys. I don't, that's crazy. I don't know. Like I said, you got to go and do what you got to do for your family and for your future and for your career. But I don't know. That would be like, let's say, and I know that Dalvin Cook is no John Elway, but let's just say that, John Elway left Denver and went to the Raiders. Oh, no. Or he goes to the Chargers. Oh, gosh. No. I'm just saying. Things like that happen. People have opportunities to go to a team that, that they hated and played against. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And that brings me to this question, guys. Does that mean that the Jets would be the team to beat in the AFC should Dalvin Cook land in New York? What do you think? Would that elevate with Aaron Rodgers and Dalvin Cook on the same team? Would that elevate the Jets past the Bills, past the Chiefs? Possibly. I bet past the Bengals. Sure, I don't know because I've not seen what Rodgers could do on a Jets team and a different team. Remember, just because you're a good quarterback and you go to another team doesn't mean you're gonna be all that. Sure, he's got Hackett as his offensive coordinator again, but you don't know. You don't know how he's going to match up because now he being Aaron Rodgers is not in the NFC. He's in the AFC. And now he's going to be playing more AFC teams than NFC teams. And he's not going to be playing the Packers and the Vikings and the Lions and the Bears. He's not going to be playing them. If they don't have them in their rotation this year, he won't see them for 4 years or maybe 3 years or whenever their rotation is. Okay? That's the way it works. So it's going to be playing against completely different teams, completely different defenses that he doesn't see on a regular basis. So would a Dalvin Cook elevate the Jets above Kansas City, above Buffalo, above Cincinnati? I don't think so. Would they be competitive in that division? Absolutely. Sure. But then eventually, if you make the playoffs, you're going to have to play the Chiefs and the Bengals. That's just the way it works. Dalvin Cook is good. Aaron Rodgers is good. Those two guys, on that team will make the Jets better, but in my opinion, they won't make them elite. Not at this point in time. That's just my opinion, guys. Just my opinion. Okay. David Burns says that the Chicago Bears are the Vikings or the Packers rivals. I think I know Viking fans cannot stand the Packers. I absolutely know that for a fact. My nephew is a Vikings fan, and he absolutely hates the Packers with a passion. Hates them with a passion. Kind of like me with the Chargers. I mean, although I have to give the Chargers credit where credit's due, but I don't like them because why? Because they always beat us. They've always beaten us. And I can't stand the Kansas City Chiefs either with a passion because they've always beaten us. And the Raiders, I don't like them because they're the Raiders. I don't care if they were in our division, outside of our division, inside the NFC. I don't care. I just don't like them. I don't like their attitude. I don't like their ownership. I don't like anything about the Raiders. But as far as a rival goes, I would have to say the Vikings and Packers don't like each other for sure. And also could be the Bears as well. But I tend to lean towards it being the Packers. But you could be right, though, David. Good point. Let's see. Clayton Huron says, thanks, Clayton, for being in the house. Nice to have you in, as always. We have the players to do it and the coaching. And you in the chat, thoughts on no-fly zone again. I say, oh, yeah, baby. We have shutdown corners, great safeties, which we can bring them down to man-to-man as well, and speedy linebackers. What are my thoughts? What are your thoughts too, guys? Okay, I say no-fly zone. Yes, absolutely on the corners, and with Patrick Surtain. Patrick Surtain, the corner, is an absolutely shut down. He reminds me so much of Champ Bailey, just shutting things down. Then you have Justin Simmons as a safety, and he doesn't have to worry about being on the side of Patrick Surtain the second. He can just play in the middle and just go over to the other corner, and just help out there. So, of course, occasionally he's going to go over the top of, Patrick Surtain if the defender or receiver gets past him. But, that's, in my opinion, few and far between. Surtain is an absolute shutdown. Fly zone part 2. You know what, guys? Let's see how it develops. Let's see how it develops. I mean, we didn't see the no-fly zone right out of the gate. It took development over, a couple of games and stuff, but then we started to see a trend where there was a shutdown defense. So yes, I do think that there's a possibility this could be no-fly zone part 2. Absolutely. I just want to give it a little bit of time to see how they work with the new defensive coordinator that really knows what he's doing. And as well as Sean Payton and his scheme and how he wants to run things. But that's a very, very good question, Clayton. Very good question. Okay. Clayton Huron says, and we're going to blitz a lot more and pressure the quarterback. Absolutely. Absolutely. That was missed a lot last year. We just had, the defensive coordinator had no clue what he was talking about when it came to rushing the passer. I mean, we didn't get hardly any pass rush on anybody. And I'm talking about statues back there, man. There were some statue quarterbacks back there we couldn't even get to. And they had all day and a half to throw the ball or look what they wanted to do. We just got schooled, man. Big time schooled. Okay, so David Burns says getting Cook on a 1-year deal would make a lot of sense, and he got to put more money on him with the Jets. That's the problem. I just think that the Jets are going to pony up whatever they can to get a Dalvin Cook. I really do. And I'm not sure that Dalvin Cook would want to go on a 1-year rental system, so to speak. I think Dalvin Cook would want to be on a team, 2 or 3 year contract. Maybe, I don't know, half of it guaranteed, third of it guaranteed, something like that. I don't know. I just don't think Dalvin Cook's going to want to come over on a 1-year deal. But if anybody can sway Dalvin Cook to go to the Broncos, it would be Sean Payton. There's no doubt about it. I mean, with his history and his pedigree of wins percentage and elevating players to be their best, yeah, I think if anybody could sway him, it's just going to come down to money and who he really wants to play for. And right now, just obviously Aaron Rodgers, he didn't have that good of a season last year, but he had a better season than Russell Wilson. So I don't know. It all depends. All depends on where he wants to go. Again, I just cannot stomach the fact that he wants to possibly play for an enemy quarterback. All right. Let's see. David Burns says Packers can't stand the Bears at all. Bears can't stand the Packers. And it got a lot of names they call each other. I bet they do have a lot of names they call each other. I'll bet you they do. No doubt about it. Well, yeah, Bears and Packers. I mean, that just goes back decades. They can't stand each other from like day one when they both came into the league. I mean, they're so close together too. I mean, geographically wise. I mean, they're closer, Green Bay's closer to Chicago than Green Bay is to Minnesota. So, yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. Traveling wise, you get Bear fans going to Lambeau Field and you get Packers fans going to Soldier Field or whatever they call the stadium now. So, yeah, I can totally see that. All right. Now, we are going to get into, that's right, guys, the jackass of the week. Okay, guys, the jackass of the week is, I could have gone a different direction. It was a baseball player, but I didn't get too much information I couldn't find too much information as to why this particular person was suspended for the rest of the baseball season. He is a pitcher for the Yankees. Apparently, it was a domestic incident. There was not too much detail. They said the Yankees aren't going to talk about it. Major League Baseball is not going to talk about it. So I'm not going to talk about it. Okay? All right. This week's jackass of the week, in my opinion, is a 2-time offender. Some people just don't learn. Some people just don't learn. Okay? I call this one the stupid move. Suspended for the first 6 games of the upcoming season, Lions wide receiver Jameson Williams has done another stupid move. Over the 4th of July holiday, Williams took a video of himself being reckless and taking unnecessary risks to light explosives, especially because his hands are what he relies on for his career. Hello, stupid. I mean, what an idiot. You're over there, and I saw the video. Now, I'm not saying, guys, now, if you're gonna want to celebrate the 4th of July, have a good time, all that kind of stuff, okay, that's all well and good. When you're a professional athlete that you rely on your hands to be healthy, strong, not damaged, not injured, not cut off or burned to death, you don't do what Jameson Williams did. Now, he didn't get hurt, but that's not the point. The point is stupidity. Just because you don't get hurt or in doing something or whatever doesn't mean it's right to do it or smart to do it or intelligent or using your freaking head that God gave you, your brain. Okay? Now, I saw the video. And now, if he would have taken one of those long matches about this long, strike it and lean over and light the fireworks, explosive fireworks. I saw it was a big box filled with a bunch of stuff. I have no idea what. But if you were to have a long matchstick, like a foot and a half long, okay, that's one thing. I could say, okay, at least you're thinking and trying to be somewhat responsible in a way. Even to me, it's still stupid, but I continue. No, he didn't light it with that. You know what the guy lit it with? Are you ready for this? You know what he lit it with? A freaking lighter this long. A regular cigarette lighter, about this long. Gets down there and, as soon as it lit, he jumped back. Yeah, of course you're going to jump back, you moron. What are you doing? Why can't you celebrate the 4th of July like 90% of Americans do? Go to a fireworks show. Let them do what they do. By the way, you ever seen how they do fireworks? They don't sit there and take a little cigarette lighter this big and reach down there and light it. No, they don't do that. You know what they do? They have these big cylinders where all of these firework, and of course, I know they're bigger and more powerful than sparklers or whatever the idiot was shooting off. But these guys are professionals. They know how to do it. They put them in these cylinders. It's computerized. The fire's off. They're safe. They're way away from any possible, but yet they still have mishaps. And they're professionals. Well, Jameson Williams is a professional too, a professional football player, not a professional pyrotech. Could he have gotten hurt? Absolutely. Could he have been killed? No doubt about it. Could he have been seriously burned? You betcha. But because he wasn't, he puts the video up on YouTube. And now the Detroit Lions are ticked. They're pissed off because they invest money in this guy. And he goes out and does stupid things. He's already suspended 6 games for gambling. Gambling, being an NFL player, gambling illegal bets. And now he goes out and does something even more stupid, in my opinion, because he could have gotten killed or seriously hurt. That to me is not brilliant. That's why Jameson Williams is the jackass of the week this week. Because he's not smart enough to figure it out that, hey, you know what? I'm going to enjoy 4th of July. I'm going to kick back. I'm going to have me a couple hot dogs, go to, watch some fireworks and hang out with the family. Nope. I'm going to shoot off some explosive. Oh, by the way, it wasn't 9 o'clock at night, 4th of July. It was 1:30 something in the morning, July 5th. What the heck? I mean, people were trying to sleep. People were trying to, they have to go to work the next day. Don't matter, Jameson Williams. I'm going to fire off these things. Oh, yeah, with the little tiny cigarette lighter. Now I could have burned my freaking hand on or blown off my hand or something. Some of these guys just don't learn. Don't learn. They just don't get it. I mean, they're smart enough and athletic enough to be football player, but ain't smart enough to be, have common sense or realize that, hey, you know what? Maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe I probably shouldn't do that. Nope. Not these guys. They think nothing will happen to them. Well, let me tell you what did happen to a football player when he tried to light explosives on a 4th of July. Here it is. Fortunately, Williams didn't get injured, but remember back in 2015, July 4th, Jason Pierre-Paul suffered a serious hand injury and had part of his hand amputated. That's what I'm saying. That wasn't brilliant back in 2015, but apparently, Jameson Williams was, that was Jason Pierre-Paul. Ain't no big deal. It ain't going to happen to me. Well, fortunately, Williams, it didn't, but it could have. And it could have been a whole heck of a lot worse than, than just, jumping back when the thing started lighting off. Could have been a whole lot worse. You're very, very fortunate. Stupid, jackass of the week, but you're fortunate. All right, I move on. Speaking of gambling with Jameson Williams, confusion with the NFL rule. Now, I mentioned this last week that the NFL rule can't have it both ways. You just can't have it both ways. You can't have a team in Las Vegas called the Las Vegas Raiders of all things, and put them in Vegas and then tell the Raider players, no, you can't gamble. Well, they're sitting right there. You got the proverbial items right there in front of you, no matter where you go, the store, the restaurant, gas station, whatever. You can't have it both ways. But the NFL somehow does. I continue. Last weekend, there was a golf match, okay? And I put in quotes because it was a fun, charitable golf match, okay? Last weekend, there was a golf match involving Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. They were allowed to bet. Wait a minute. Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes are in the NFL, right? And they're allowed to bet? Okay. They were allowed to bet on the outcome of the game because the NFL did not sponsor it and it wasn't an official NFL event. Wait a minute. Okay. All right. Wait a minute. So the NFL is telling me and everybody out there that Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes could bet on the outcome of the golf match. But they're NFL players. But that's okay because the NFL didn't sponsor it and it wasn't an official NFL event. So if it's not an official NFL event, you could go ahead and bet on it? Well, then why can't you bet on baseball or hockey or basketball if you're an NFL player? That's not sponsored by the NFL, and that's not an NFL event. But apparently you can't do that either. I mean, from what I've read, they don't want you betting in their facility. Well, if you're betting on baseball, football, or hockey, not football, baseball, football, or basketball, baseball, hockey, or basketball, I'll get it right one of these times. Baseball, hockey, or basketball in the NFL facility, what does it matter? You're not. See, this is so confusing. The NFL has totally screwed this up. And there is no wonder why players get all jacked up and why players do things that they go, well, hey, I didn't know. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce could bet, playing golf, and they're an NFL player, but I can't bet when I'm playing, whatever. I don't get it. It's such a fine line that the NFL is blending it into a gray area. And you can't have it gray. It has to be black and white. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I continue. So players were allowed to bet on it. The league informed Pro Football Talk that it was okay. So, like I said, no wonder these guys get screwed up. And yes, I understand. I read the 6 NFL rules that says, no betting, no betting on football, period. No betting in this facility on football. No betting on this. No, whatever. The list I still got the list, but I put it away. It's just that seems very cut and dry. But when the NFL comes out and allows this to happen with NFL players, to me, you're sending a very mixed message. You're sending a message that the players are confused at, and I'm confused at it as a fan. It's just. I don't like it. I don't like just cut and dry. Don't bet. Period. If you're an NFL player, whatever, don't bet. Period. But I guess they can as long as the NFL isn't sponsoring it and it's not an NFL event. Go figure. All right. Let's see. Clayton Huron said, been a while, Bill. On 11 months sober, bud. My job's still going great for me, and we're getting ready to build a garage. Awesome, Clayton. Way to go. Congratulations on 11 months. So happy for you. That's fantastic. It's marvelous. Keep it going, man. Keep it going. Okay. The Denver Broncos in a power field have a new scoreboard. Now, it's not just an ordinarily new scoreboard. This thing is gigantic. The new Jumbotron above the south stand at a power field is so massive that they had to remove. Then this bothers me because I love seeing it when I was there doing the Mile High tour. This is awesome. So massive that they had to remove the retired numbers and 3 Super Bowl championship signs. Oh man. I hope somehow, some way they can find a way to put them back up somewhere. Maybe they should put them on the side of the scoreboard. You know, I don't know. Maybe the wind and the rain and the hail and the snow and all that would kind of, you know, cause them to weaken. I don't know. And maybe they don't want them up there because if there's a strong wind, it could bend, it could snap, it could. I don't know. That's probably not a good idea, but just a thought. But yeah, I've seen pictures of that scoreboard. It is enormous. And not only is it higher by almost twice as high, but it is so wide that as the stands on the south stand on the top start to curl up like this, like for the part of the horseshoe, like this here, it goes right to the edge of that curved area where the other one was in, and you still had, you know, the room for the retired numbers and the championship signs. That's not the case now. When they expanded, they just didn't have the room to put those. So my hope is and trust that they will come back at some point before the season starts. I would love to see them put up somewhere. I don't know where. I don't know how. But I would love to see them because we got to, you know, if you retire a number, you should have it posted somehow. I mean, baseball, when they retire numbers, they put it along the, you know, the front leading edge of the stands or whatever. You know, they do that. Hockey, they hang them from the rafters. So in football, in you know, Denver's got to have those numbers up there. You know, they have to. They have to have John Elway's number there. They got to have Peyton Manning's number there. And then the Super Bowl 32, 33, and 50, those have to come back. We can't forget about those, guys. We can't have a stadium without those being evident. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that on opening day against the Raiders and not have them there. That's not what I want. They got to bring them back. They got to bring them back in full, and they got to bring them back in style. I don't know where. I don't know to what degree, but in my opinion, they got to bring them back. Okay. Now, you know, when cryptocurrency came out and they had the Bitcoin and they have Dogecoin and all the other cryptocurrency things, I never really understood it. You know, my son wanted me to kind of dabble a little bit in the Dogecoin because he really likes Elon Musk or whoever. I think he's behind it. I'm not sure. I think that's who it is. But anyways, I said, okay, son, I'll put $20 in. So, well, it ain't worth, you know, it's worth pennies on the dollar. Ain't no big deal. $20 to lose. If that's the case, ain't no big deal. It's a different story when you lose millions. Tom Brady, poor guy, you know, he goes through divorce and now he's lost millions. And, you know, it just happens. Unfortunate, but that's what happens when you dabble in something that's not solid. Tom Brady lost millions in the collapse of the cryptocurrency company called FTX. Brady received $30 million in now worthless stock for his work in promoting with ads and just going out there and promoting and getting people to sign up on it. FTX filed bankruptcy last November. Its former CEO, Sam Bankman-Fried, is facing federal fraud-related charges. Oh, boy. Federal fraud-related charges. That ain't good. That is not good. And now FTX is wanting to sue Tom Brady to recoup that money back because apparently investors were the ones that put up the money and you know, what are they called? You know, endorsements. They put up endorsement stuff on Tom Brady promoting the cryptocurrency FTX. And now that it's folded and collapsed and bankrupt and worthless, those investors, they want their money. They're going after Tom Brady to recoup some of that money. There's other players in there. Charles Barkley, I think, is one of them that they're suing as well because he got some money's worth. And who's that guy for the Golden State Warriors? Who's that? Stefan? Not Stefan. Is it Stefan Murray? No, that's not right. Basketball player. Anyways, he's part of that whole thing too, and they're going after him. So I don't know, man. But man, first off, I want to understand something. TFX, along with Bitcoin skyrocketed and people made bank, man. They made bank. Now it's coming way back down. I don't understand that whole crypto stuff. Like I said, I just put $20 in Dogecoin. So what's the big deal for that? But I don't understand the whole thing. But I don't care if I'm worth millions. I'm not worth millions by any stretch of imagination. Right? Dang sure ain't going to put $1,000 into Dogecoin or 10,000 or 5,000. I'm not putting that in there. Heck no. To me, it's unstable. I don't know where it's going, what it's doing. So, but man, Tom Brady, $30 million he was given in stocks, and well, he had to put in, or somebody put it up. Obviously, the investors put it up, and he benefited off of that. Now it's gone. Wow. Okay. Last two topics, guys. Last two topics, and here we go. Courtland Sutton. This past weekend, Courtland Sutton got married in Mexico, some resort. I can't remember what it was. Got married in Mexico, and plenty of current and former teammates were in attendance. They were former Broncos Von Miller, Bradley Chubb, and Brandon McManus. Now, that tells me that there's a great bond between all four of them. Miller, Chubb, McManus, and Sutton. That's great. That's awesome that they can keep that friendship and appreciation for each other. And then, invite them to your wedding. I think that's phenomenal. Absolutely. Current players were Jerry Jeudy, Surtain II, Russell Wilson and Sierra, Tim Patrick, KJ Hamler, and others. But one former Broncos player was upset because he wasn't invited to the wedding. Who was that player? Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon seems to be ruffling a whole lot of feathers. He ruffled some feathers when he played in Denver, and there just was some, he just didn't seem to fit in at times. Just didn't seem to fit in. And because he wasn't invited to the wedding, Gordon felt snubbed by Courtland Sutton. And do I think rightfully so? No, not at all. I mean, it's your wedding, man. You can invite who you want. You don't have to invite every player, everybody that's ever played with you or been on your team. You don't have to do that. It's not a popularity it's not a popularity contest. It's about who they want at your wedding. And maybe there was some things that he just didn't appreciate about Melvin Gordon. I don't know. But Melvin Gordon wasn't there, and Melvin Gordon got butthurt. It's the way it goes. It's the way it goes, Melvin. Sorry, dude. Wasn't your wedding. When you have a wedding, then you don't have to invite Courtland Sutton. There you go. All right. Let's go to the very last topic. And this one is interesting. And I would have to agree with those that were listed as the top. But I think that there were some that were missing. And I'm going to get into that right now. Greatest players and their numbers in Broncos history. Broncos players have worn numbers that when Broncos fans see them, we all remember the great player who wore those numbers. John Elway, number 7, no doubt. Peyton Manning, 18, hands down. Absolutely. Terrell Davis, number 30. And that bothers me too, because Peyton and Elway's numbers are retired. Terrell Davis' number is not. And I have no freaking idea why. Terrell Davis is a 2,000-yard rusher, the only 2,000-yard rusher in Broncos history. MVP of the league, MVP of the Super Bowl. Rushed for, like I said, 2,000 yards. He averaged 100 yards rushing in every single playoff game he played in. Every single one. And his number is not retired. That to me is a huge slap in the face. And yeah, guess what else? He's also a Hall of Famer. So is John Elway. So is Peyton Manning. So is Terrell Davis. The other two that I mentioned, Elway and Manning, their numbers are retired in Broncos lore, not Terrell Davis. And my thought is why? Why not Terrell Davis? Why? He only played 5 years in the league. So freaking what? Look what he did in those 5 years. My gosh, it hasn't been duplicated with any Bronco running back since. And in my opinion, I don't think it will. I absolutely don't think it will ever be duplicated again. A 2,000-yard rusher in 5 years. Now remember, this is only 5 years. Okay? 2,000-yard rusher, MVP of the league, and MVP of a Super Bowl. And 100 yards rushing average in every single playoff game, including the Super Bowl against Green Bay for 176, I think it was, 172, 175, 170, something like that. And he missed the entire third quarter because of a migraine. He could have gotten 200 yards rushing in that game. No doubt about it. And his number's not retired. Pisses me off. I continue. Randy Gradishar, number 53. And DeMarcus Ware, number 94. Those players and their numbers were named the best because all of those players are retired. Okay? I wouldn't say they're that. I mean, I got some that I think should be in that top list. Here we go. I think these numbers should be alongside those numbers I just read. All right, here they are. The numbers that I think should be on this list are as follows. Champ Bailey, number 24. Floyd Little, number 44. Oh, yeah, his number's retired too. Where's Terrell Davis? Not retired? Yeah, I know. John Lynch, number 47. Dennis Smith, number 49. Rod Smith, number 80. Another number that should be retired. Absolutely, Rod Smith's number should be retired. All right? Champ Bailey's number should be retired. Floyd Little's number is, but Champ Bailey should be. Shannon Sharp, number 84. That should also be retired and considered a great number in Broncos lore. Von Miller, number 58. That was not considered to be the best numbers ever worn by Bronco player. Are you kidding me? Von Miller, Super Bowl MVP of 50, single-handedly won that game? Literally? The kind of career he had in Denver, you're saying number 58 shouldn't be a number. When I see number 58, instantaneously I think of Von Miller. Every single one of these numbers I see, I think of that player that wore that number. I have number 47, John Lynch's jersey, hanging in my closet. That's the only 47 number I got. I got Von Miller's number 58 hanging in there. Got John Elway's number. I got Mike Shannon. I got Peyton Manning's number. I have Terrell Davis's number and jersey hanging in there. I'm just saying, guys, if I can see it, why can't they? Why can't the Broncos organization see this? Retire these guys' numbers. Retire these numbers. They are phenomenal players in their time. Okay? The last two, Neil Smith, number 90. He came over from Kansas City to be on the Broncos to have an opportunity to win a Super Bowl, which he did. He won Super Bowl 32 and 33. That's why Neil Smith's number should be retired. He gave up a ton of money to win a championship. That speaks volumes. And he gave it everything he had to be on that Broncos team. His number should be considered great. When I see number 90, I think of Neil Smith, no doubt about it. And last but not least, Wes Welker. Now, this one might be considered outside looking in, but I liked Wes Welker. I did. Not because he came from New England, because I didn't like him when he was in New England, because I didn't like the Patriots. But Wes Welker's number 83. Now, those numbers, to me, are the numbers, and I mean, are the people I think of when I see those numbers. I don't see anybody else wearing any of those other numbers other than the numbers I stated. And the players I stated with those numbers. Some of those numbers should be retired. I don't think they will, but they definitely should. Terrell Davis number needs to be retired. Hello, Bronco organization. Retire number 30. Okay. Put Terrell Davis immortalized in Mile High Stadium with his number retired. Do the right, correct thing. Do it. Okay? I mean, that's not hard to ask. It's only one number. It's only would be the third number ever retired because 18 was retired twice. John Elway 7, Peyton Manning 18, and the other one that was the first Broncos quarterback, I believe. And then you got Floyd Little. What's wrong? You got 2 quarterbacks up there. Actually, 3 quarterbacks. You got but 2 numbers. Why not have Terrell Davis alongside Floyd Little? I mean, come on. It's not rocket science. It's common sense. Do the right thing. I mean, absolutely. All right. David Burns says this. He agrees it's a slap in the face to Terrell Davis. Absolutely. The most disrespect. I mean, if he's a Hall of Famer and the NFL Hall of Fame committee can recognize the fact that Terrell Davis is a Hall of Fame running back, why can't the frickin' Denver Broncos organization and people empowered to be retire his number? That's all I'm saying. It frustrates me every single time I see somebody on the Broncos wear number 30. I hate it. Can't stand it. Absolutely cannot stand it because it should never, ever be worn again by any Bronco player other than Terrell Davis. That's it, guys. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you have not, please do so. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks to everybody that was in the chat. As always, I give a shout out to everybody because if it's not you guys in the chat, this show would not be what it is. And I owe it all to you guys for being in there, for your comments, for your support. And I'm just going to go down the list. Avatar, Allison Sessions, D-Rock, David Burns, Bubba Gonzalez. Thanks, you guys. Clayton Huron. Thank you for all you guys being in the chat. As always, it means a tremendous amount to me and to the network. But for this show, I greatly, greatly appreciate it. You guys are the backbone of this show. I'm just bringing you topics, commenting on the topics, and then, appreciating you guys in there with your comments and your questions and all of that. Guys, the show is Monday through Friday. I'm not going to go over them all that much. Just you got the all the basics. You've got the Avalanche podcast on Monday. You got the 5280 on Tuesday. No nonsense and whiskey following them. Wednesday is the Wild Wild West. You got the Orange and Brews, that show. And then you have my show on Friday, 5 p.m. live every single Friday. I bring you the topics and I bring you the emotion and the passion. I just appreciate it. You guys, until we talk again next Friday, until I see you guys in the chat next Friday, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Real quick before you get Victor Daniel Pavia, cool, Bill. Appreciate it. Thanks so much for being in the house. Really do appreciate it. If I think I know who that is, I think that's a former coworker of mine. Thanks so much, man, Dan, for being in the house. Really appreciate it. Again, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Until next Friday, you guys have a wonderful couple of days off, and we will see you Friday, 5 p.m. Till then, guys, take care. Bye-bye.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.